Our story follows the journey of two unexpected victims. It begins in a coffee shop where our first victim, Jamie, leaves his wallet behind after his morning coffee. Sarah, the waitress, leaves with the wallet and goes on a shopping spree. After a series of unfortunate events, Sarah gets knocked down by Jamie and we are left with many questions unanswered. Many short films use the conventions of morals to gain a sense of meaning. We use this convention to mislead the audience into thinking that Sarah is a negative character. However, there is a plot twist at the end, which is another convention of short films that reveals that Sarah had good intentions when picking up the wallet. Our moral is similar to one of the short films we studied, which gave us inspiration for ours. The short film Lovefield. In this short film by Matthew Rath, we are led to believe that the male character is an evil person through using conventions of a horror film. But with the big reveal at the end, it shows us that he was a good person all along and was actually helping to deliver a child, whereas we are led to believe that he had murdered the woman who was bearing the child. We really liked this idea of misleading the audience and developed the moral from this into our own short film, in the sense that you shouldn't jump to conclusions about people.
Another common convention of short films is to have no speech and instead a voiceover. We challenged this convention as in our short film, we allowed minimal amounts of speech and didn't have a voiceover at all. We did this as we wanted to tell the story more visually rather than verbally, but felt we needed some dialogue to characterise the characters and allow for the narrative to flow. We didn't use a voiceover as we felt that our film simply didn't need it, and thought that the story is better told visually without one. We also thought that by not using a voiceover, it let the audience make up their own minds and draw their own conclusions about the personalities of our characters. In our short, we wanted to mislead the audience, and like a lot of effective short films, we left the end open to interpretation. This is a common convention used in short films, and we chose to use it as we felt that we didn't want to spoon-feed the audience and hand it to them on a plate. We wanted them to make up their own mind as to what happened to each character. The end was left with Sarah lying on the floor, and then Jamie gets out the car, sees the wallet in Sarah's hand, and then takes the wallet and walks away. We wanted the audience to decide for themselves why Jamie simply took the wallet and left, what he was thinking when he saw that Sarah had his wallet, and if Sarah was dead, and so on. For our short films, simple ideas can work better. For example, in the short film Dinner Date, the narrative was very simple, yet the film was very effective. The film simply followed flashbacks of two dates, firstly from a woman's perspective, and then from a man's perspective. It was very effective and was very comical and worked really well, even though the plot was very straightforward. We challenged this convention by having a fairly complex storyline of building up two different characters, misleading the audience to think one thing about one character, and then having a plot twist at the end which revealed the true nature of this character. Also, by having a storyline in itself challenged short film conventions, as a lot of short films don't have a storyline at all, as they simply don't need to. When you watch a short film, they aren't watched with expectations, and so anything can happen in them, so we challenged this completely by having a story to follow. So, how did you use media technologies in the construction, research and planning and evaluation stages?
Well, once we got all of our clips recorded and filmed, we've uploaded them into Premiere Pro and managed to fit them onto the timeline. We also had to learn how to do the titles because we didn't really do much with that last year. So we had to play about with the font and the size and things like that.
One media technology we used was a voice recorder that we used when having group meetings. This way we could put it into a YouTube video and transfer it onto our blogs to show our meetings more creatively.
One of the digital technologies I used to make my blog more interesting was a Prezi. This was just a new way of presenting information on the blog and it just made it more interesting. This was the research stage, so when we had a lot of research to do we often put them in Prezi, so it's just a better way of presenting it instead of just sort of writing about it, just doing an essay. So you can put videos on there, different pictures, different text, you can make all the backgrounds, different transitions. And yeah, it just made it more interesting to look at really. One media technology we used in the research stage of creating our film was YouTube, because we had to look into lots of different short films and this was the best way to get the most variety of films. One that we're showing now is Love Field. This is one that gave us a lot of inspiration for our own short.
From this we were able to pull out a lot of conventions, techniques and elements that we could put in our own short film.
We used Scribe to upload our script onto my blog just to show the examiner what I've done. And a point that somebody made was that they weren't sure exactly. They basically thought that the woman was still stealing the money, and we hadn't put in the script that she showed that the money was still in the wallet. So he kind of said that it was still a stereotype of women, the fact that they like shopping and don't really care if it's anyone else's money. So this was quite clear from us from the start that that point hadn't been made, and realised that to the actors that would make no sense. So that bit of feedback was really helpful, and we amended our script because of that.